We all had that favorite teacher. I was lucky to have a few incredible teachers. You know, those teachers that were so dedicated and enthusiastic about their jobs. As an adult, I know that teachers go through a lot, and they sometimes do a thankless job. They work hard to make us the best versions of ourselves and prepare us for adulthood. They teach us subjects that are important and exciting to them, and they hope that their enthusiasm will rub off on their students. My favorite teacher in high school was my biology teacher, who was ironically named Mr. Green. When I first met Mr. Green, I was already excited about biology. I had grown up in a family where nature and science were essential. I had always done well in this subject. Not only was it fascinating to me, but it was relevant to all living things on the planet. Biology was a big deal. In elementary and middle school, I had science and little bits and pieces of bio. In high school, we had an entire class for biology. Mr. Green seemed as passionate about biology as I was. He discussed the importance of conservation and how all life on Earth is connected. Mr. Green stated that all things in the natural world have important roles and are uniquely suited for those roles. I was jazzed about this teacher. Mr. Green spoke my language. He was going to teach us how the natural world worked in great detail. My classroom had all sorts of natural history and conservation posters. He also had models of different organs and tons of plants by the window. I wanted to explore the classroom. There was so much fascinating stuff to check out. From the very beginning, I got along great with Mr. Green. He had so much enthusiasm, and I liked how he talked to his students like we were intelligent enough to understand what he was saying. And he loved to answer questions, so nobody was ever afraid to ask him any. He assigned the most exciting projects and gave us constructive yet positive input on our work. Mr. Green and his wife also hosted cleanup groups where we cleaned trash and litter from different areas, and Green Team, a club devoted to conservation awareness. Another really fantastic thing that Mr. Green and his family did was run a community co-op farm with a massive greenhouse, where people without gardens could grow vegetables and fruit on a sliding scale, depending on what they were able to do. That meant that the families also had access to fresh fruits and veggies, no matter if they were able to pay or not. Cool, right? He always encouraged his students to participate and help out. To say that he was a role model would be like saying a hurricane is kinda damp. Another great thing about Mr. Green was that he took an interest in his students. Not in a creepy way, but again, he cared about us, genuinely. On one occasion, I sort of got into a mini fight with Blake, this guy who tended to bully and be rude to kids who were different from him. It only lasted a few minutes, but I knocked Blake to the ground 3 times. At the time, I hadn't realized what was happening. I hadn't realized that I was standing up to a bully. I hadn't realized that Blake and I were surrounded by other students watching what was happening. I didn't realize any of that until I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Mr. Green, whose classroom was near to where this fight took place. I remember Mr. Green's face as he walked me back to his classroom. He told me to sit down at my desk and to take a moment. I remember feeling so many different emotions and so many thoughts that were running through my head. I felt sort of good for standing up for myself. I felt ashamed that I had lashed out at Blake. I felt embarrassed that Mr. Green had seen me in a decidedly non-academic situation. I worried that Mr. Green would see me as a troublemaker or someone who resorted to violence, something that I was sure Mr. Green was above doing. I was also worried that Mr. Green would report me to the principal and that I would be expelled, and then that would lead to me getting into a lot of trouble with my parents. I had never even had detention, yet. My parents would be mortified with me fighting. Yes, they had sent me to karate and boxing, but the purpose was to learn focus and discipline. They had made it clear to me that I was under no condition allowed to use my training to harm another person unless it was absolutely necessary, as in defending myself in a life-threatening situation. My family were pacifists. If my parents heard that I had been in a fight, their heads might explode. I dreaded what Mr. Green was going to say. I imagined stern cop-like words coming from his mouth. I prepared for the bad news. I received no bad news, though, and no stern words. "Are you all right, Jason?" was all that Mr. Green asked me. "I don't know," I said. "I shouldn't have lost my temper like that." "Everyone loses their temper at some time or other," Mr. Green said. "Blake likes to target people he thinks won't push back. He is a bully. I don't blame you at all." "You don't?" was all I could say. What? He didn't blame me. How? I blame me. I was the one who lost his temper. "I understand," Mr. Green said again. "And you didn't lose your temper. You stood up to a bully. All you did was make him stop. Yes, you knocked him down, but you didn't pursue the situation. You used your words and reinforced them. That took thought and control. I think that you handled the situation very well." "Really?" I was amazed. "I am expelled, though, right?" "You're not expelled," Mr. Green said. "There is no reason for you to be expelled." "But I got into a fight," I said. "You knocked down a charging bully," he said. "That was not a fight. There is no reason to expel someone for standing up to a bully." "Thanks," I said. "Just don't make a habit of knocking people down," Mr. Green said, laughing. Later, as an adult, I was aware of the conflicting emotions that I had experienced and why I felt them. I understand the situation better. I stood up to a bully. I also appreciated that Mr. Green was not just a good teacher. He was a good person who didn't like bullies any more than we did. I also knew that while his logic was sound, he still gave me a pass that day. My parents did find out about my fight, but not because Mr. Green told them. He didn't. I told them myself, and they reinforced what Mr. Green had told me. Teachers and professors came and went in my life. Some were good, some were not. But Mr. Green is in that very exclusive group of exceptional. Hey, thank you for watching. Please click on the right to subscribe if you liked the video. And please don't forget to click on the bell icon when you subscribe so that you can be notified when we upload a new video. Watch more videos on the left, including our playlist. Thank you.